am living a beautiful life, but I feel that because certain things haven't come into my manifestation, that I must be a little scattered or lazy with my thoughts, where maybe I am not being deliberate enough, or fantasizing enough, or being, daydreaming enough, because I don't have negative things in my life. I'm very conscious of when I don't feel well mentally. I nip it right away, and I listen to you. You're the best energy changer on the planet. I just listen to one of your things. I get out in nature. I go for a walk, and I just shift my energy. But I want to travel. I want to buy a house. I want to help my kids with their wedding. There's things I want, and I'm sort of anticipatory in the waiting for it, and my life is beautiful in the meantime, but I think I must be missing something if these things aren't showing up, because the path unfolds in many little directions, but it never seems to come to fruition.
Well, let us just speak some basics of the laws as they are, and then we'll walk through this in a way that you and others will follow and understand, because when you say, or when most say scattered energy, it's as if they think that they have to focus on some specific thing that they want and hone in on it in order to reel it in and bring it about. And so they think their energy is scattered. They're thinking about too many things, and it's kind of like if you've got a lot of things to do and you're trying to do so many things, then you jack of all trades and master of none is sort of the human sentiment about that. And we want to make it very clear that it's not scattered energy, it's contradictory energy. Only a thought about something and a thought in opposition of it that ever slows it down or puts resistance in it. You can be creating hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of things simultaneously, and when you focus toward them, if you're not contradicting your thought about it, then you're setting it into motion, and law of attraction will follow through, and it will become a reality. So it's important to understand that it's the contradictory thought that is the only thing that ever hinders anything that comes into your experience. Therefore, if it is in fact true that you're thinking about what you want and you're always feeling good and always feeling satisfied, and yet some of the things that you think you want aren't coming, then it must be that you don't really want what you think you want. Because if you're really as vibrationally non-resistant as you feel that you are, then you are creating exactly what you put into your vortex. And if what's unfolding isn't what you think you want, then that's where the disconnect is. If you really believe that you've got positive emotion going on all the time and what you want isn't happening, then you don't want what you think you want, which is never the case. What is the case is you don't have positive emotion going on all the time. You're just under the illusion that you have positive emotion going on. And the reason for that is because you are you are comfortable with thinking the thoughts that you've been thinking, and so they feel normal, not necessarily in alignment with desire. And that's the reason that we are commenting in a stronger way, wanting to put more emphasis upon your personal realization of whether this is a satisfying thought or not. Now, we know when you're on the beach with your dog, you're satisfied. We know that for sure. But it's possible to be on the beach with your dog feeling satisfied and move into an unsatisfying thought. And in fact, you do that sometimes too, even on the beach. And so you don't have to clean up all your thoughts. We don't want you to dig in and try to get to the bottom of things. We just want you to lean positively or change the subject. Just don't contradict your thoughts. So for example, let's take the exact example of you wanting to help your kids with their wedding. What else did you say? Buy a house,
travel.
So let's take the kids with their wedding. Are they expressing to you a desire for something that they need that you can't afford?
Actually, no. The wedding that's happening next year, we're okay with, because we only have to do the rehearsal dinner. But like future, I have 3 other kids. I'm just thinking my daughter, our general financial situation right now wouldn't support 4 weddings. That's just a
So through life experience, and we're even talking about the years that you've been listening to us, what do you think is the dominant thing that you've put into your vortex relative to your children? Self-sufficiency or dependency upon you? Do you think that you've been really wanting to create a relationship where you do all things for them? No, not all things, just some things. But along my physical trail, Abraham, it's sort of a common thing for parents to do something about what we're asking you is, do you think there's any contradiction between what you're thinking about these weddings and what you've actually put into your vortex?
Probably, yeah.
So that one's a little more difficult for you to sort out, because most parents believe that you really owe a lot to your children. But
yeah, they're not asking. It's so funny because my son is like, Mom, we just want flip-flops, t-shirts, a barbecue. They're not asking for a lot.
So,
and I'm actually really listening to him, so I don't.
So he's telling you that in response to what? You're just on the beach enjoying the dog? What makes him say that to you?
He's in Seattle.
Why would he ever say that to you?
Because it's what he and his fiance really want.
Yeah, but why is he saying that to you?
Because I am expressing to him my desire to do more.
But what influence are you under while you're expressing that desire? Are you under the influence of abundance and this natural easy flow? Or are you under the influence of, I don't have enough and I feel bad that I don't have enough? What's the active vibration within you that's making him want to compensate and say to you, hey Mom, we're not counting on you? That's what's scattering your thoughts. The idea of these weddings, as life is coming at you, is causing you to confront the subject of finances. And instead of feeling satisfied, you feel dissatisfied. Yes?
Yes.
Well, stop it. That's as big as it gets. That's all you're doing. You're feeling dissatisfied about your current situation because you're using the beliefs that you have, the circumstantial evidence. We might be able to make it with one, but we can't do all four. In other words, feel the case you're making against yourself. So what is the big subject? Is it wedding? No. Is it travel? No. It's all of those things. It's abundance flowing into your experience. So can you feel how, if you're satisfied, you're allowing the abundance to flow? That's why you allow the abundance to flow in the ways that don't involve money. You allow the timing of the universe to show you the most magnificent sunrises or sunsets. You allow the universe to show you the friskiness and joy of the dog or the gulls or whatever else is out there. In other words, you're letting abundance flow to you in lots and lots and lots and lots of ways. But when it comes to that financial abundance, you've got some beliefs that you just keep reactivating that are in the way. And the way you clean that up is just by asking yourself, is this a satisfying thought? Now let's play with this a little bit, because you've all got the idea of it, and many of you are doubting that it's as simple as that, but it really is just as simple as that, because it's this way. You see, you're living life right here and now, and it doesn't matter what you've lived. It doesn't matter what your financial condition has been. In fact, the more contrast you've lived, the more good stuff you've put in your vortex that has already summoned cooperative components. But if you're dissatisfied, you're not one of the cooperative components. If you're satisfied, you're one of the cooperative components. So here's the thing we really, really, really want you to hear. A man was talking about a barbecue contraption that he's invented. And he wants the funding and he wants the world to embrace it and he wants it to sell and he wants to get a lot of money because he has some things that he wants to do with the money. So as we chewed for a little while with him, then we began asking the audience, does this man have to feel satisfaction about this barbecue contraption here and now in order for it to go, for the success of it to happen? And the entire audience knew that he didn't have to feel satisfaction about that. He just had to feel satisfaction. Because if you believe that you've got to feel satisfaction about the thing that you don't feel satisfaction about, I'm going to feel satisfaction about this thing that I don't feel satisfaction about. Are you satisfied? Yeah. I'm satisfied. Yeah, I'm satisfied. But you're not. You're under a different influence. But what are you satisfied about? I'm satisfied about the self-sufficiency of my son. I'm satisfied about how he stands in his flip-flops on the beach. I'm satisfied about his joyous life experience. I'm satisfied. Or. There are thousands of things in any moment in time that you could find to be satisfied about. And when you decide that the name of this game is to lean in the direction of this influence, what influence are you wanting to be under? Really, friends, you are the only uncooperative component in the desires that are coming into being for you. Whew. Little by little, you said, I'd like that, I'd like that, I prefer that, I'd prefer that. Law of attraction gathered them as cooperative components. And you know what? All of your desires, hear this, all of your desires are cooperating with each other. Source, law of attraction, have gathered them. These cooperative components are there. When you're dissatisfied, you're not one of the cooperative components. So you can't be in a place where you can receive the impulse or the train of thought that will lead you to where you want to be. Sometimes you think, well, I don't really want to be under the influence, so I'm led. I just want it to happen and I'll just show up later. And we say, well, that's the biggest flaw that most humans believe. You are creators and you want to create, and the only satisfaction you're ever feeling is when you have asked for something and you're letting yourself move toward it. You've got to be under that influence and moving toward the magnificent things that you put into your vortex little by little, or you cannot feel satisfaction.
Yeah, the unfolding. I've been in situations like I do photography, and I have stepped that up a bit, and I've made greeting cards, and I did a calendar, and the unfolding of that process was so much fun. So I understand that concept. I don't want, a sack of money, not that I wouldn't mind, being dropped at my feet, in the sense that I understand as you say, how the path lighting up and how fun it is to see everything fall together.
Now wait a minute. If a stack of money dropped at your feet, you're driving down the road and the armored car doors open and the money falls in your path, are you telling us that you could just scoop it up in your car and you would be satisfied?
No, I'm saying
you'd go to jail.
I'd go to jail. All right, if I won the lotto, it would be lovely, but it wouldn't be as satisfying as my life unfolding.
We don't mean that at all. We think winning the lottery could be a very satisfying thing. We're not trying to get you to not want the things that you want. We're just showing you how you get there. So if you decide that you're going to win the lottery and you can't conceive of that and you know the odds of that, and so your own thoughts are working against, that's what you're calling scattering of thoughts. And that's what we're calling contradictory thoughts to what you desire. Here's the thing. When you live life and it causes you to create preferences, to identify preferences, and then your preferences gather together and there's a magnificent unfolding. If you can manage to stay in a state of satisfaction just because thought by thought you're catching it when the first dissatisfaction happens and you don't let it take hold, the advantage that law of attraction brings you that is most discernible to you, most palpable, most present, is the gift. We'll just use that word, the gift of good timing. Because when you're tuned in, tapped in, turned on, because you're not doing that thing you do that keeps you from being, then you rendezvous in more timely things with thoughts about past, present, or future, with thoughts that are beneficial, and with impulses that are beneficial, and with others who are beneficial, and with experiences that are beneficial. And that's what a satisfying life is. You can't have an unhappy journey on the way to a happy ending. It just doesn't happen. It's happy, 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 happy. We could even say it feels really good, really good, really good, gooder, 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 gooder. And of course, we agree with all of you about this. The explosion into the manifestation, that's the brink that you all want to be upon. And that's the moment in time that you feel the most exhilaration. In other words, manifestation matters. You're here in this physical time and space because you are creators into the physical. Thoughts are turning to things, and you want thoughts to turn to things. But as humans, you've become so enamored with that moment when the thoughts turn to the things, and you're so enamored with the things that you forget about the deliciousness of the journey, which is the only reason that these things ever exist. They're the final product of this joyous journey, and your life is about the joyous journey, not about the product. You are creators who are creating. And you are also the creation. You are the happy being. That's the creation. And you are in your happiness creating. Are you getting the sense of what we're talking about? Yeah. There are so many people that just want to fast forward. Just give me the goods. Just give me the goods and then I'll be happy. And we say, you'll be happy thinking about them. You'll be happy identifying them. You'll be happy moving toward them. You'll feel satisfaction as you gain more clarity. You'll feel satisfaction as more people co-create with you. You'll feel satisfaction as the ideas get bigger and funner and fuller and faster. You'll have more fun as more cooperative components join the game that you are in the process of. In other words, that's what it's all about. It's about the joyous journey.